Last time on Network Instructor plays City Skylines. A flat network, or one street town, was made. The internet connection was made at one end, and the services, garbage collection, school, medical services, were located in the center of the street to give the least latency to other users. The residential homes represented more of the users in this scenario, and the commercial area, kind of some services, more of business users. Now, this topology doesn't scale, so today we will start over with a topology that does. Now, the reason I'm starting over is because it's a lot easier to do it that way in City Skylines than to convert the existing one and move all the existing services to more appropriate places in the new topology. So here's the new topology. Introducing the collapsed core, or two-tier topology, a much more scalable and manageable topology. It is based on a star and could be considered a star of stars. There are two levels to it, the core or distribution layer and the access layer. So let's get to playing. Alright, so we're going to pretty much do the same area. I'm going to recreate Kennedy Boulevard here, but it's going to be our distribution. Malfunction junction, follow 275, here we go. And some horrible train station. So, start out with the road. And of course, they only give me the one road. I don't get the nice large road. So we're going to start out with our nice low 1 gigabit of bandwidth. There we go. Am I fairly horizontal with that? Yeah. That'll work. All the way to the end. I am going to do this, but I'm not going to, well, give the full infrastructure. There we go. I'm not going to go full on because the starting money doesn't really allow you to do that, but again, let's start polluting the bay. And we'll pull the water here because I don't want to be anywhere near the pollution water. Of course, in theory, I could use the pumps and pull it in from elsewhere. Alright, so this is where I'm going to start to change from what I did last time. This is where we're going to go in the distribution. This is a distribution road. Of course, civil engineers call it something else. But I'm doing this as a network analogy, so it's a distribution. And try to go as vertical as possible. No. Oh, no, I don't want this. I wanted roads. There we go. Well, I am going to put a pipe there, but... Alright. Alright, going under the interstate and roadways to go out there. And then, of course, I'm only going to go to... Of course, I could go to the train tracks and make a crossing, but... I'm just going to leave this side slightly limited. There we go. And then I'll make another one. And I think I'll just do 3 little nodes here. Now you can already see that I've got more space, more area to put things in than I did before. You're also going to see it's a lot more expensive, but I'm giving myself a lot of space to grow. And I only need to run a water main every other street. Go. Now, I could easily, and later on, take this design and go into a bigger area on bigger network, or more of a three-tier, with this being the core. You know, might as well just rename this Core Boulevard or Core Street. And then these are the distributions. So each street is kind of like an individual physical switch. The intersections not necessarily being routers or routing decisions, but in most analogies, they really would be. And there would be a decision made. But that is another way that you could do this. That you could do your different networks in this distributed network. You could have layer 3 switches at the distribution layer, which is more common. All right, so let's go and bring up some place. Well, since I'm already polluting down here, let's go ahead and drop the power plant at the end of this road here. And then I'll run some power lines over here. There we go. Now we got the power lines running to the power plant, and all we have left to do is zone. Now, nice thing is that they want residential. I don't want to use this tool because I don't want anything on the distribution. The side roads are the access. Well, we'll call them access. And so I'm going to make these first 3 areas all residential. And I'll go ahead and make this area industrial. And I'll probably end up making more of an industrial. And I will just go ahead and unpause this and see how it goes. All right, so we are starting out, as always, losing money. And we're going to have a hard time getting people in because they have no power. At least not to that upper part. So until I get some power up there, we'll run some temporary infrastructure, get the extension cords, and of course we plug the extension cords into extension cords. Just don't tell the fire marshal. And of course the idiots start building way out here where there's farthest from the electrical, but you know, they're probably not going to like the noise of living near interstates and elevated trains. All right, so let's see, it's growing, and of course these people are going to be whining about not having electricity because they decided to build where there wasn't any. And of course, you know what, guys? Quit being stupid. Stupid is as stupid does. Why? Why are they this stupid? No, I'm not used to seeing a big desire for commercial this early in the game. I wonder if it's something to do with this map. Now it's nighttime. Like all of rest of Florida, it's too hot to do any construction during the day. So everyone's building in the night. Okay, despite their stupidity, they have finally made it up. We've scaled up. So now we have these services that we need to place in the city network of not Tampa. So that would mean X. There we go. Pausing. Wow, fireworks. Okay. So first of all, and this is a reason why small office home offices have the big flat networks. They're a little bit easier to manage in some cases. And in this case, if I were to think of these little streets as their own little VLANs, which would be popular, or I'm doing layer 3 to the access layer, which would also make sense here. We have a couple of little ideas or concepts. So we've got 3 new services. We've got the garbage service, which, yeah, if I place it down here at the plant, but remember the garbage trucks now have to go out and get places. So unfortunately, I'm going to place this one here on this network. It'll still be somewhat centrally located. Of course, in City Skylines, your problem with this is that no one wants to be by it, but everybody wants the services available as quick as possible. And yeah, welcome to the world of quality of service, where you have to make that decision. You know what? Latency in garbage trucks is not going to be as important to me. So what I'm going to do is just keep the pollution over. Actually, you know what? I'm going to extend this to the other side of the tracks. So I'm going to put the garbage dump on the other side of the tracks. There we go. Okay, for the Amtrak passengers, hold your nose. You got a power plant on one side, and garbage place on the other. All right. So, yeah, the quality of service of garbage is not going to be that well. It's probably going to cost more to make it hit more of the city. Not very efficient. But don't care. All right, moving on. Next service. Medical clinic. Okay, everybody wants medicine. So I'm going to put it on this network here. Again, not on the main one. You would think a lot of these services, you would put them in the distribution. Probably from a city standpoint, it would make more sense. But keep in mind, I'm going to be widening that road, and I don't want anything on it. But also, everything is off the access switches. Everything is on these little networks. And the backbone or distribution or core is going to be different. All right, so next we move into the other service, education. And I don't see any reason why it shouldn't be across the street from the hospital or the medical clinic. You need more memory to build this. Oh, memory. Money. Okay, so I'm out of money. Good. I was hoping I wasn't out of memory. Okay, well, we can't afford 2 schools. We have more healthcare and no schools. And I guess we could always consider cost as one of the things we have to look at when we're budgeting for our network or when we're building our network. Not everybody has the, we'll throw whatever money we have and any money we need at it mentality. Would be nice, but no, not really. Doesn't really happen that way. Notices of disasters. And I do have disasters turned off. Maybe I turn them on for another video and talk about disaster preparedness in your network. Definitely good topic for the future. And could be a lot of fun throwing things at this city. Okay, this is boring. Okay, speed it up. And see if they'll actually build stuff up here Not a lot of call for residential. There we go. Okay, they're not being stupid with electricity. Now, really, at this point, I should be adjusting the taxes and income, and I'll probably end up doing that taxes and services to, charge the other departments a little bit more for these services and infrastructure that we're putting here. All right, there we go. All right, so now I should have the money to build the elementary school. Yeah. All right, where was it? I was going to put it across the street from the clinic. Looks like someone built their store there. Eminent domain! Now they're calling for more industrial area. Now, I could actually expand that here. That's not the kind of expansion that we're really looking for in this. I only put the garbage dump there because I really wanted it there. Because, if you give a mouse a cookie, he's going to want more industrial area. And no, I'm not doing anything really fancy like zoning or farm area or anything like that because, it takes away from my point. So now it's at night. We can't see him building all of the horrible polluting buildings that are going to give out lots of jobs here. Now we are a worthy village. We're not worthy. Okay, firehouse, police station, more services. Now, of course, this is security in more than one firm. So I do need firehouse, I do need police station because fires are going to happen. And incidentally, we need them definitely low latency. We need the police to be able to get to calls quickly. We need the fire department to get to calls quickly. So that means I'm going to pause it. And I'm going to slap what am I slapping? A firehouse. Now, the industrial areas are usually more prone to catching fire. So maybe I'll put it on this side of the street. There we go. Everybody's happy for a fire station. And you all know those industrial areas get lots of crime. But I'm going to stick the police chief over here across the street. And the reason I'm doing it this way is because this is going to be relatively centered on the backbone. Ideally, maybe I should make a separate network to bring them on, or a little bit more specialized infrastructure road, out of band management as it was. Because in a way, the police and the fire traffic is going to be kind of your management traffic. But it does need to be along with the others. Now, and I'm running into wonderful issues with that. So, as we can see, we're kind of scaling the city a little bit. Oh, I'm running out of money, that's why. Let me check the water. I should have some water coverage, at least on one side of that street, so. There we go. Now, one of the reasons I did leave this is because you can go in this game and put trees and such in the middle here, and tends to mitigate the pollution a little bit, but at this point I'm not caring as much about pollution, but I am going to go a little bit on the budget. Usually we back off on this about 80%. Because in the early game, you're usually producing far too much water and electricity. And then I'll go to taxes and raise. Well, let's not raise them that much. Everybody will complain and move out. There we go. I don't want as much industrial, but all right, now everyone's going to start complaining about taxes. oddly enough, commercial needs are going up. There we go. And you can see this small area. I've still got a long way to go before I get to downtown Tampa over there. And I could just keep easily scaling up. And if I keep going with this, the great thing is, by the time I get to downtown Tampa, I might actually be at a level that I can start putting denser, dense commercial and dense residential. Put thicker streets in there, and hey, we're going to get more realistic. Maybe. Of course, we're supposed to be realistic to networking, not realistic to city. And this is definitely not the way Tampa is laid out, although it gets pretty close. But Tampa is more of a three-tier road. You have the main streets and the feeder streets and the next one, which is closer to the three-tiered architecture. You know, with the interstates and 60 and everything being your core, while the other streets like, say, well, see, now I'm mixing the real world in, because if I say West Shore Boulevard, only people who live in Tampa know what that is, or around Tampa. Dale Mabry. Actually, Dale Mabry is more like a core. All right. So, not making, making decent money now that I've upped taxes, but not going that quickly. So, a few moments later, yay, tiny town. Okay, guys, that's going to wrap up this video here. I could continue on with City Skylines, but I've gotten the point across that I've tried to make here, and that's that the two-tier topology works a lot better than a flat topology as far as expandability, scalability, and repeatability. And to be honest, if you really looked at it, all I did was just make a group of flat networks into a star network. Okay, guys, this is my second video, both of the series and overall. If you liked it, go ahead and hit the like button. Please subscribe once I hit a certain amount that I can keep going on and doing this more and more. If you have any comments, if you want other topics to be covered, then leave a comment. I would welcome that.